Good morning. My name is Taylor, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of this congregation. Welcome to all of you. The Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Elkhart is a welcoming community. Encouraging religious freedom, nurturing individual spiritual and ethical growth, celebrating diversity, and promoting a just and sustainable world. If you would like to learn more about this fellowship, please look at our website at uufe.org and join us after the service for our coffee hour. For listening enjoyment, we ask at this time, please turn off your cell phones or set them on vibrate. And also, if you need hearing support, please ask for help at the sound desk in the back. Okay, I'm going to try this. Another set of sessions are being held via Zoom to discuss proposed Article 2 changes to the denomination's bylaws. This series has also started, and the second of the series is this Thursday evening. If you're interested in learning more or participating, see Terry Mark or Pam Wycliffe. Last Sunday, the RE program showcased a youth service project to purchase items for the Potawatomi Zoo. They have had a donation box in the foyer on the Ivy Island and would certainly appreciate a donation to help them achieve their goal. For more information, by the donation box, or you can speak to Renee Rogo. After the service, starting at noon, the worship committee is having a planning meeting for this calendar year. They are tentatively planning to meet in the corner of the gathering place. Please feel free to have coffee hour and for refreshments after, but give them space when they begin to meet. Ta-da!
Good morning. And thank you for being here, and because I've got to be me, so I got to do a couple of things that are different. And we're going to do the gong and chalice lighting now, because I got to follow the rules for a little bit. Okay. When hate rules, let us bring love. Where sorrow, joy. Let us strive more to comfort others than to be comforted, to understand others than to be understood, to love others more than to be loved. It is in the giving that we receive, and in the pardoning that we are pardoned. Attributed to St. Francis of Assisi. We ring the gong. We ring the gong 3 times. Hello? We ring the gong 3 times. Once, for those who came before us and made a place for us. Once for those who are here now. and once for those who will come after us and build on the dream. And if you are children and would like to go to your activity, you can take your coats off and follow Taylor. There you go. Okay. All right. So the unison covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. Okay. And now Chuck will come up.
Good morning, everybody. How are we today? Good. Well, I think most people know I'm the worship committee chair, and I wanted to take a few moments to talk about worship in general this morning. Of course, we're having this planning meeting, as Taylor announced, so we can take a better look at 2024 and kind of look at it more extensively than we would in a regular meeting. And here we are. Our fellowship has started the third year of lay-led services. We've been a lay-led congregation for 2 years and already in our third year. How about that? Are we having fun? Yes. All right. If you weren't, I was leaving. No. So I just want to take a moment to give out some thank yous. You know, I wish Carl were here. Carl told me he'd be gone this weekend. But I want to talk about what tech does a little bit. Carl does some prep for each Sunday service in order to put all of our music and our videos and everything together. And of course, somebody's back here running Zoom, and Randy's back here running sound every Sunday morning. And Terry does that. Ken's been back there a time or two. I've been back there a time or two. I'm even doing that this morning, so hopefully I won't screw up. Because the next thing I'm going to say is that it isn't as hard as you might think to work back here in tech. I'm not a techie. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Now, this morning I'll probably screw up with something. Just watch. But it's really true. And so I want to give a big thank you to Carl and Randy and Terry and Ken. But at the same time, I'm kind of putting it out there for people to consider stepping up and volunteering to help. We can always use it. I also want to thank everybody who signs up on the clipboard out in the foyer on Ivy Island and gets coffee ready, gets the tea water ready, brings refreshments and snacks. Thank you this morning, Caroline. We try to get that on the bottom of the orders of service and get that updated. And flowers and everything else, you know, cleaning up afterwards, all these things. Steve sets up chairs usually once a month and gets it set up in here after vacuuming is done. I want to give a kind of a general thanks here to everybody who does that and has signed up to do that. And a reminder, we always need those little boxes on that sign-up clipboard filled up. Now finally, I want to give a special thanks. Most of the worship committee members are here. Laura is sick this morning. But I want to give a special thanks to Joan and Laura, Lorna, Janelle, and Steve for everything that they've done. You know, most of them have worked through these last couple of years. I haven't, Steve hasn't, but we've, you know, collectively, there's a lot of experience in this committee. And we've got a super committee, we really do, which has been nice so that as Joan needed to recover, we could give her a good break, which, by the way, was well deserved, right? And I just want to say, working with everybody in the committee, you know, there's always a lot of great creative ideas. It's been enjoyable to work with everybody in the committee. It isn't that hard. Oh, you know where this is going, right? You know what he's leading up to. But one positive about being lay-led is that we can try some new things. We can try some different ideas. Susie's doing some different things this morning for us as our speaker. And another positive about it is if we screw up, if it doesn't go over well, that's okay, because we can blame it on the fact we don't have a professional in the pulpit. See? Win-win, right? But seriously, you know, one point I'm going to make is that Laura is our president-elect. She will be our president starting this summer. And she's going to drop off the committee because as president, she's going to be busier. She's going to have a little bit bigger workload, and she works full-time. We also might have somebody else possibly leaving us this summer. I don't know if it's okay to say.
It's not possible.
It's probable.
It's in the works.
It's in the works that Lorna might leave us this summer. So there goes a third of our committee. And what does that mean? That means this spring would be a great time for one or two people to want to jump in and learn. We can teach. We've got some good checklists. I mean, it really isn't that hard, but sure, it's a commitment of time and energy, of course. It is. But it also means new people come to the committee with fresh ideas and fresh energy. And remember, if you come to the committee and you do something and it messes up, you don't have to worry, because we can always blame it on the fact that we're a professional in the pulpit, right? Win-win. Okay, enough of that. Think about it. Okay. I guess the other thing I want to say, I know some of the members of the search committee are here. You know, I just want to say this, okay? So yes, we are starting our third year. I'm not speaking on their behalf. I'm speaking as a member of the congregation. But I think it's worth mentioning that if you weren't here almost 2 decades ago when we had a ministerial search, it took 3 years. It took a while. And that can kind of be expected because you want to find the right person. We want the right person to be our minister, right? And when you find the right person, it will be great. But Dwight's here. I don't know if TJ is here. William's over here. Laura's sick. TJ's the fourth member, I think. I have faith in them. I know they're doing the right things and looking for the right people. And someday the right person's going to come along and we're going to be happy and we won't be muddling through the way we are, although I don't think we're muddling through because the doors are still open, right? Okay, that's all I want to say about that. I'm looking forward to today's service and a bunch of our upcoming services too. So that's really all I had to say as part of my musing. I'm going to move on to our offering. Our offering this morning is entirely dedicated to supporting our food pantry. Please give generously.
This is a hymn that might be a little unfamiliar to you, so I think Lizzie's going to play it all the way through, and then we'll sing the 4 verses. It's short, but it's tricky with the rhythm, so just stay with it, and we'll get it. So stand and sing if you're willing and able. Number 95. There is some love, more love somewhere.
So I'm a little nervous because I'm sharing something with you all that I learned without knowing all the science behind it. And I know a lot of people like to know, especially here, that there's research to back what I'm going to talk about, because it looks a little funny. It's a little possibly woo-hoo for some people. However, it has a really high success rate. So that's my little, because I actually copied all the information. So you know, it's like, anyways, I've got the research. But what I would like to talk about is it's called planting the seed, but it's not your normal planting the seed, because I did this last year, you know, about the soul, food of soul, and food for the soul. So this is a little different. And I just want to acknowledge that I made you all sit separately, so that made you a little uncomfortable. Took you out of your comfort zone, right? Made you sit somewhere else, because everybody likes to sit where they like to sit. I want you to think about what you thought of me in that moment. Okay? All right? Because planting seeds. So we've done a lot of intentions. You know, we've set the tone. We have a big weekend here. So let's see. We have Valentine's coming up. I guess today is International Peppermint Patty Day. Yesterday was the Chinese New Year of the Wooden Dragon. And then earlier we had Imbolc. Okay? And so we've had a lot of intentions, and we've had all these great ideas of what we want to do for the new year. But how many of you have already broken your promise to yourself for what you've started for the new year? You know what I'm saying? How many? No, I don't care. You know, the last time I did that, I gave up my watch and set myself free from time. So, and that was a few years ago. And before that, I used to give up candy all the time because I grew up Catholic, right? And I would be saying to people, as I'm eating candy, oh, I gave up candy, right? It didn't work, right? And there's a reason. There's a physiological and neurological reason for this. Because our mind can do and say whatever we want, but guess who keeps score? The body does. Okay? So these things that I'm going to do that are physical has to do with planting the seeds in the body, changing because let's see, there's a parable out there, right, where you have seeds that you sow, and there's 3 types of soil that you sow the seeds in, and one grows a great crop, one is kind of iffy, and then one is like, well, that was not successful at all. Okay? And in this day and age, sometimes it can be the seeds that are bad, or the soil could be not nourished enough to grow things. Because don't you need like a great environment for things to grow? You need proper sun, you need proper cloud, you need proper rain, you need a great nourishing soil for things to grow. And then you have to tend to those seeds. And then, you know, some people think they're weeds, some think they're flowers, but if you're growing with intention, right, you plant certain things together and they do really well, and then you plant other things together, they don't do well. Some are weeds, and then some of the stuff you plant too close together and they get choked out, so you have to weed some out so there's space. Okay? So the things that I'm offering to you today have to do with the physical body. Some people don't do meditation really well because their minds are really active and they can't sit still, and that's something that's trapped in the nervous system. And I'm going to use my fingers. So I'm going to move away from the pulpit. I'm actually going to move this when I do the physical thing because I'm not going to talk as much as I did the last time. But I'm going to move away so you can see this. So say something happened to you when you were a little kid. It just goes in. There's no rhyme or reason. You just take it in. So this is your nervous system when you're a baby, because you've all seen babies take naps, and they're so blissed out, and they feel good. They're effervescing. You know, I call them God sparkles, because you hold them and you smell them, and they just make you feel so good. This is the baby's nervous system. Something happens. They didn't get fed on time. Not an adult person. There's no blame here. Something happens, right? They didn't get something taken care of. All right, now this happens when you get older. Something happens. All right? Now, at our age, so what happened is what the body will do to protect itself from feeling that again, it'll move. So there's a block. There's like an energy block, because the body is like, I don't want to feel that again, so we'll go around it. So there comes a point, and you know, if you've ever suffered from PTSD, or you've had some kind of emotional, mental, or physical abuse, there's a numbing that occurs in your nervous system and in your physical body. And then you have things that happen to you, stress, right, from day to day, because we don't take the time to do what animals do when they have a life-threatening experience. Because our ancestors, the only reason that we're alive is that they found a way to survive. So our brain is completely wired for this, for survival. Okay? So there's a lot of science. This is not the stuff that I'm doing the science with, because what I'm going to show you, again, It's a little woohoo, okay? But there are actual physiological things that occur and neurological things that occur when you do this activity. Matt, I'm going to read something to you, and this comes from Rose Benjamin this morning. I had something else, but this is 100 times better. Okay, this is a quote. It's by R.M. Drake. The most important day of your life is not the day you get married, or the day you graduate from college, or the day you landed your first real job. No. The most important day of your life is the day you realize your self-worth. The day you realize that you are enough. But not only for the world, but also for yourself. The day you realize that the love you have for yourself is the greatest love there is. Now, how does that make you feel? Because we've been taught, to love others and, give, and it's better to give than receive. Okay? I'm going to finish this quote and I'm going to get back to that thought. The one that starts with you, the one you share with other people, the one you've always had within, that is the most important day of your life. Realizing your self-love and knowing how irreplaceable you truly are. Okay, how comfortable did that, or uncomfortable, I don't need any numbers, but how comfortable did that make you feel, or uncomfortable? Because we've been taught to care for other people more than ourselves. We've been taught to give because it's better to give than receive. But that's only half the equation. How many of you have given from empty? And given more and more? It makes you bitter, makes you resentful, makes you hateful. Okay, makes you a martyr. Okay? So the key is to be able to open yourself up to receiving love for yourself so that your cup is full so you can give from the overflow. So your cup is continually full. Now, spiritual teachers know how to do this. They literally are the largest embodiment of the God flow or the goddess flow or the cup of grace. They have found a way to become a huge antenna. Now their minds are still working, but that phrase is you're not your body, you're not your mind, you're not your emotions, which is this huge concept, okay? Is they acknowledge that. Their mind still operates, but the voice has become very quiet. In the distance, because they are completely attuned to that divine grace that flows, that we are sitting inside of. We are sitting inside of and walking on the bottom of the ocean of love. And how many of us have put up limitations and blocks because of what's happened to us so that we can't feel that or can't experience that intellectually or emotionally or physically? Because there's something happens when we age. Our nerve endings lose the juiciness. Our synovial fluid gets not so fluid. We lose collagen. We lose our human growth hormones. These actually help us feel joy. So that's why grandkids come into place, because they remind us, right? Okay? But if we don't have access to grandkids, how do we recreate that for ourselves? And this is where there's some science and some woohoo, that it looks woohoo, but it's actually science, that we can actually tap into our own ability to recreate joy, peace, comfort, remove stress from our lives, and open our cup to receive again. On our own, because I know a lot of older people are really fiercely independent. They don't like being told what to do. They want to do it themselves. Well, guess what? I got something for you, people, if you want to do it. Okay? So there's 3 things I'm going to show you. I'm going to move away. Okay. This is a breathing exercise. This is why, this is number one. This is the simplest thing you can do. And this is what babies do. And when their skull starts closing up and they decide to stay and say, hey, I'm going to stay with these humans, they flip over onto their belly and they start breathing differently. And they take on the breathing habits of the people they love the most. Mama, Papa. So in other countries, people breathe differently. In the U.S., this is just a thought and a theory, is that when your ancestors decided to come from wherever they came from, to make that trip over to the U.S., they had to shut down a whole lot of themselves because they had to leave everything behind. So it changed their breathing pattern. So all of us, being laid on our mother's chest, have a particular way of breathing. Okay, and that includes the trauma and drama, generational trauma and drama of that move. And then whatever happened to all of our ancestors is all kept in the chest by the lungs and the heart. Okay? Now you can, there's research for that too. So I'm going to show you the breathing. Hands on the lower belly. Okay, on the lower part where your belly button is, you can put your thumb where your belly button, and then your hands are down here. So this is the reverse breathing of fear and flight. So you can inhale, belly out, press that belly all the way out. Inhale, and then exhale, press the belly in. And you can do it through the nose. Inhale, belly out. Exhale, belly in. Inhale, belly out. Exhale, belly in. This is the science. When you do that, breathe. It feels awkward, doesn't it? Because it's like the opposite of what you do. Because guess what we're tuned into? Fight or flight. And we actually have receptors on our lungs. The upper lungs is the fight or flight. So if you're breathing up here, your nervous system is continually looped into the fight or flight. Automatic. Babies breathe. When you watch your babies, they're laying on their back. Blissed out. And they inhale, belly out, exhale, belly in. That's how they breathe. The diaphragm, it's a diaphragmic. So us women, the guys not so much, we had to hold our belly in, right? Got to look good. So guess what? It freezes everything. Diaphragm doesn't move. So you're automatically breathing up in the upper chest region. The receptors for feel good, there's no dinosaur chasing me, I'm going to live, lower parts of the lobes of the lungs. So when you use your diaphragm properly, which the only way you can do that is if you inhale, belly out, exhale, belly in. Because when you tail the belly to go out, the diaphragm drops, vacuum is created, sucks all the air into all 5 lobes of your lungs. When you press the belly into your spine, forces all the air out. Diaphragm is an actual muscle, and it moves. Form of self-love. Because guess what? You're tapping into the vagus nerve, which is your gut feeling. So you feel the gut. It's actually the vagus nerve that you're tapping into. And when you're inhaling, you're taking the mind out of the brain into the body and washing over the heart. And then when you exhale, so you're actually using the air, that you breathe, to make wiser, more loving, kind decisions. Because I guarantee you, if you're angry at somebody, you're holding your breath. All the way up into anxiety, fight or flight. Okay? Form of self-love. Inhale, belly out. Exhale, belly in. You don't like what I'm saying? It's okay. I'm good. But test it on yourself. So going to sleep tonight, inhale, you're laying on the bed, you inhale, belly out, exhale, belly in. Just do that 10 times when you wake up in the morning. Inhale, belly out, exhale, belly in. This is all science now. It's no longer woo-hoo, what I'm talking to you about. Okay? It's been scientifically proven. If you have a lot of stress, if you suffer from anxiety, if you suffer from from depression. Check your breathing. Start there. You'll need less anxiety medication, less depression medication. But that's what you do with your doctor, not with me. I'm not telling you to stop taking your medication, right? I'm just saying, think about this. Okay, so that's number one, the breath. Okay, now we're going to actually do an exercise. This might make you sweat, and it's very exhausting when you first learn how to do this. Okay, it's called the fire breath, where you're actually bringing down that joy, that energy. Okay, so this is the fire breath. Inhale, arms up, you're looking up. Exhale, and you actually whack the side of your rib cage. So inhale, exhale, inhale, you're reaching, exhale, you're bringing down that joy. Inhale, exhale, inhale, bring it down. What you're exhaling is all that gunk you want to let go. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay? You should be feeling a little warm, a little sweaty, right? And it's exhausting, because this is what you eventually want to do, especially if you're tired and you're bored, or you're like, oh, I need a little extra energy. It looks like this. So that's, if you do it with the mouth closed, you're breathing you're making a lot of fire. If you want to let go of stress, inhale. These are things you can do. It works. All right? I'm not expecting you all to do that, but I'm just saying. And if you have a problem making a sound, where does that come from? Children should be seen and not heard. Because how many times you were running around the house, even outside where you should have been able to be a wild child, animal child, right? Free as a bird. You're being too loud. Shh, the neighbors, what are they going to say? I'm just saying, think about that. Right? Well, there were parents that did, and you got in trouble, right? So think about those things. Right? So those are two things that we can do. Now, the third one, which is the real woo-hoo, since the 1990s, all right, I'm going to read a couple of things. And one of these is from Purdue University, which they use for their students for self-care now. So they're actually using this method. Okay, and they've done the research. There's about 100 peer reviews on this since the 1990s, because the people that took it up first were all the energy workers, the yoga shmoga people, right? And they knew instantly, because of what they had experienced doing yoga or meditation, all right, or energy workers, okay? So there was a lot of bad, the scientific community was like, or the psychological community was like, well, this is, we don't want to be attached to that, right? Okay, so this is my one last story. Then we're going to do it, but I'm going to read a little bit. I have to say this. So I met Barbara Stone when I came home. I came home in June of 2007, and I did a program at Sacred Waters, and Barbara Stone came. And she and her partner at the time were at the very beginning of what I'm going to talk about. And they took this to Rwanda. And they worked with the kids that were part of the genocide, that survived the genocide of their people in Rwanda. So they had many years of trauma. They couldn't sleep. They had no hope. They had no vision for the future. And they were completely trapped in the past, because one of the things that was part of their tradition was to tell their story. And it was really hard to tell their story. And one of the things that we now know with telling your story is that the brain doesn't know that it's not happening. So you actually re-chemicalize your brain to that trauma. So they were constantly stuck in this loop of trauma and drama and pain and great suffering, right? So this makes me cry. Because by doing this technique, when they were there for the 5 to 10 days, when they were doing these kids who were now in their 20s, could go to sleep at night and not have a nightmare, could breathe again, had hope for the future. And to still honor what their parents and their family members and their friends had experienced, but they could live again. And when they went back to check how these kids were doing, I don't have the statistics anymore. I'm sorry, I don't know the numbers, but there were only a few that reverted back to what they had experienced. So they were retaught how to do the method, and they were able to move on. So it had lasting impact on people. So if you have issues with self-love or self-doubt or self-hatred or unforgiveness for emotional stuff, this works. So these 3 techniques help you lift yourself out of these things, okay? If you have depression, anxiety, PTSD, pain, this can help alleviate it out of your body, mind, and spirit. Okay, there's that word, spirit. The Native Americans think all illnesses come from the spirit first and then trickle down into the mind. And then if you're still not paying attention, it goes to the body. And when the body's screaming and you finally do something where you have 70% illness, and then you go to the doctor. So instead of going when it's at 10%, 20%, or 30%, you go at 70, 80, 90%, then they have to bring out the big guns for your medication so you get better instead of going when it was just starting. So what I'm sharing with you is prevention things. It helps with the mind, it helps with the body, and it helps with our spirit, our higher self, our Atma, our I am that I am being. That is, we're just such a small, tiny little piece of who we really are. And so when we do these exercises, we tap into it. So now I'm going to show you. Okay. And what I'm talking about is emotional freedom technique. Who's heard of it? So this is called tapping. Okay? So this is where you need the elbow room. That's why I had you move. Okay? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to take my glasses off. You're going to take your 2 fingers, right, and I'm going to show you where you're going to tap first. You're going to tap here. You're going to tap here. Right, so right in here. So it's not up here. It's right in between your eyebrows. So if you have unforgiveness, or you have self-hatred or anxiety or something, just visualize that experience. Okay, you can do it with your eyes open, and then you're going to go to the side of your eyes. Yep. So it's right here. Right here, side of the temple. All right. Underneath the eye. Okay. Then you do underneath the nose. Right here. Underneath the chin. Then you're going to take all your fingers and you're going to tap underneath your collarbone. So it's like this. And then, this is the hard one because you're going to tap. So for us women, we have the bra strap. I know, oh my gosh, I just said that in church. Okay. But there's a point here, and you can actually feel it. It's about 4 inches down from your armpit. It should be a little sore. So it's right here for me. So it should be a little sore. That's a spleen point. It's the end point. All right. So now you're just going to tap. Okay, you're going to tap there. All right. So now, okay, then you're going to go underneath here. And, all right, and we have one more. Now this is a little more hard. So the pinky and the ring finger, you're going to just run down in between the 2 bones, and then you're going to just tap here. This is for fear. This is a point for getting rid of fear in the body. So this is a point for fear. It gets rid of fear in the body. Okay? So it's in between the ring finger and the pinky. There, you just press your fingers down, and there's like a little divot. And then you just tap right in there. Okay? And then last, you're going to do up here on top of the head. This is an interesting. This is like the 1,000 points. So this is like your Senate and the the House of Representatives meets here and you're the president and you're tapping up here and you're having a conversation with your whole being. So that's an acupuncture point up there. All right. So now we're going to actually do it, and then we're going to see a little video from a little girl who's doing it, and it's all about self-love. So we're going to put it up, and you're just going to listen to what she said, and we may listen to it again, because you can do this anytime. So the first thing that we want to check into is, how are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? If you have something in your body that is limiting you, like unforgiveness, like I had anger, so I've been angry since October because something that happened to me, and I'm like, how am I going to stand up here today and talk about this authentically when I'm holding on to something that is so huge inside of me, like viscerally, like overwhelming anger, and the only other person that has ever been able to do that was my dad and my ex-husband. Okay, and that's been years. So for me to experience this level of anger, I'm like, wow. Okay. Anyways, so I've been working really hard, doing all my things. Finally, just so you know, yesterday morning, I finally came into a place of my anger is gone. Like I can look at these people in my mind's eye and know that if I see them in person, I'm going to be okay. Right? No, I'm not going to do that. Okay? So, this is what we're going to do. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you on an issue? Like I still have one issue I can work on. It's probably about a 7. Okay? For me. But this anger was over the charts. Like it was over 10. I was so vested because I really dislike injustice, and I have a real issue from a kid on fairness. Still, as an adult, I have to disengage from my little kid and say, okay, life is, but I really even hate saying that. But anyways, I had to let it go, which I have. All right, so you're going to tap here. You're going to hold that vision. If you have a person or an experience, you have to visualize it. You got to smell it. You got to see the color. You got to hear the words in your head, okay? And you're going to tap on this. All right, you keep your eyes open for this. All right, and you're conscious of what you're doing. Now you go to the side of your temples. So side of your temples. Okay? Keep visualizing it, smell it, hear it, taste it, whatever it is, underneath your eyes. These are all acupuncture points. Now underneath your nose. Okay? Now underneath your chin. Right? Or not underneath, but, in between the lip and the chin, right in that little niche there. Now you're going to tap on the collarbone. Keep visualizing, keep thinking, keep feeling, keep smelling, keep hearing the words, see those colors. Okay? Underneath the arms. Okay? Underneath. Breathe, keep breathing, keep feeling, keep seeing, keep hearing those words. All right, now we're going to do this point right here. It's on the left hand. Right hand is doing it on the left hand. It's on both hands, but we're only going to do one hand. Okay? All right, now we're going to do the top of the head. Oh, I forgot a point. It won't matter. We can still do this. All right, now you're going to chop your hand like this. Tap it right here. Keep thinking, keep feeling, keep doing. Switch. Okay. All right. So let's breathe. Close your eyes. See how you feel. Has what you were feeling, has it dropped? Has it gone to like a 5 or a 6? Maybe a 4. Maybe it's almost gone. So these acupuncture points access the nervous system, the paranervous system, and the brain, and you're switching the chemistry in your body to neutralize your emotional and mental and physical experience that is trapped in your nervous system. Okay? So there's other things. You can go to a network chiropractor. You can do energy work so that you reset your nervous system. So you can bring it back to this. Because blocks so that your nervous system is like this again. Okay? So this is what I have to offer today. We can do classes. I have a whole chair yoga class that we can do this with, just so you know, where you're detoxing the body, detoxing the mind, just getting the mind out of the brain and learning how to relax. But that's not what I was here for, but I do offer that. So now we're going to watch the video, and then I'm done. I'm going to do it with you guys.
I choose to love myself right now.
I choose to love myself right now.
I know that I am worthy of love.
I know that I'm worthy of love.
So I choose to love myself right now.
So I choose to love myself right now.
No matter what I do or don't do,
No matter what I do or don't do,
I'm a lovable kid.
I'm a lovable kid. I'm a lovable adult.
I choose to love all of who I am.
I choose to love all of who I am.
And allow love to flow through my body and mind.
And I allow love to flow through my body and mind.
I am grateful that I get to be me.
I am grateful that I get to be me.
So I choose to love who I am every day.
So I choose to love who I am every day.
I choose to
Okay. All right. So you can find that. I found that on. I can share that. We can put it on the UUFE, focus, whatever. I don't care. But you can access this. It's very easy to do. All right. So, thank you. If you want to look at the research, you can. Okay, I have it here. Oh, last thing, seeds. Sorry. Planting seeds, actually planting something, so materializing. I have, if you want, I have sunflowers after the end of the benediction as the music is playing. You can take a cup and put some sunflower seeds to take with you so you can actualize the tending to something, not only yourself but outside of yourself. So, there you go.
Because of time, we're going to go ahead with the hymn, and we can have reflections at coffee hour with Susie afterwards, okay?
How long did I go over?
About 12 minutes. So,
Try.
You can go over all you want, Susie. That was fantastic.
Okay.
That was fantastic. Number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. 4 verses. Stand and sing if you're willing and able, and then we'll after the benediction, we'll take the seeds during the postlude if you'd like to take the seeds and leave in quietness.
Yep,
Okay?
yeah.
Our benediction was written by Frederick Gillis. May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us, now and always. Blessed be and amen.
So the sunflowers are all different kinds of colors. And they're, for, if you're going to plant them, they should be planted in a sunny area, because there's some that, but they're all for all sun all day, okay? So feel free